welcome to Marina's Kitchen. Today I'm going to make peas and ricotta fritters. They are a good vegetarian dish, something you can just serve with a steak or a salad or just the way they are. I'm going to bind them with a gluten-free coconut flour, so people with gluten-free can use these. Now I've got 300 gram of peas, frozen peas, but you've got to thaw them out and then put them through a blender, but don't mash them down to a pulp. You need to leave them a little bit with the big pieces in them. And I have blended these down just enough that you can have the peas, you can see the peas or a bit of whole peas, and just mash them down a little bit. So all we've got to do now, I've got 2 eggs, I've got to add 2 eggs to it. I've got a zest of a lemon, and I've got a tablespoon and a half of the coconut flour, which this is a good binding flour. And also 150 gram of ricotta. I just bought this ricotta from the deli and it's pretty dry. I don't want a really wet one. And now I've got some parsley to put in it. What I've done yesterday, I'll show you what I did yesterday. I got all this parsley in my garden, and I always make my basil pesto, but yesterday I had all this parsley in my garden and I thought, well, I'm going to make some parsley pesto. Now they come quite handy when you're cooking, so I can grab one of these, I put it in an ice cube and I fill them up, and then I can just take them out. And use them as I want them, one at a time, just like that. I'll put them in a bag or in a plastic bag and keep them. So what I've done with this one too, I got the parsley, I got one of these, and that parsley has got garlic in it, it's got the cheese in it, so it gives it an extra flavour to this. But if you haven't got the pesto parsley, that's okay, just use your fresh parsley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one of these to this mixture. They are so handy to have because I've got all this parsley in the garden. I made this parsley pesto, I put it in the ice cube like that, and anytime you need one, just dig it out and use it to any cooking you want, which gives it that extra flavour because I've got the garlic in there and I've got the cheese in there and the oil. So if you've got a lot of parsley, that is handy to do. So I'll just keep them in the deep freeze and just use them when I want them. So I'll put that in there now. Now we've got to add 2 eggs to this. I'm going to add 2 eggs to it. Just put everything in together. There's 2 eggs. And we got our lemon zest, and I'm just going to add some salt and pepper. Add how much as you want. And I've got some oil in my pan here ready to fry them up. Now I'm going to put my coconut flour in here to bind it all together. You can add more coconut flour if you want to. If it's too wet, just keep on adding some more to it. With those 2 eggs and that peas mixture, it's beautiful. And I've got that flavour of that lovely parsley pesto in there, which gives it a lovely flavour. Now lastly, I'm going to add my ricotta. Just add a bit at a time. And isn't that beautiful? The colour is absolutely beautiful, that green peas and that ricotta. Just keep on adding that as you want. I think I've got enough ricotta there. You can add as much as you want to, but I've got 150 gram of ricotta and just did it up all in nice pieces. So that's all you do. If it's too wet, you can add a little bit more, but that looks just nice for me to fry them up. Lovely. And that pesto flavour in there is just absolutely beautiful. I think I've got enough ricotta in there. You can add as much or as little as you want to. I think I've got enough there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my pan on, and we're going to fry these fritters up. I'll just have to wait till it gets hot and put a nice tablespoon at a time and fry them up. That's all you need to do. Very nice. They are so beautiful. You can have them with a salad. Just put them in the pan like that. And I think we've got, you makes you about nearly a dozen here. You can have about 10 to 12 fritters. Just fry them up like that. They're beautiful. It's got enough coconut flour there to bind them. You don't want to make them too big or too small. That is just enough to make them just a nice size fritter. There you go. That green looks beautiful with that ricotta. It's got that red and white colouring. And you just keep on frying them up like that. When they're nice and brown, just turn them over. They fry up beautifully. Can you just imagine that is just a beautiful vegetarian dish, a gluten-free dish that just got the gluten-free coconut flour to bind it with. Instead of binding it with the ordinary flour, I bind it with the coconut flour. It is a really good binding flour to any fritters you want to do. So what we do now is just turn them over. And that is absolutely beautiful. You can have them for lunch with a salad or even just like that. It is absolute. They are lovely. The peas, if you're using frozen peas, defrost them and then just wait until they've been all defrosted, then put them through a blender. But as I say, don't blend them too much because they'll go into a pulp. I want them just halfly blended. And just keep on frying them up and nice and brown on one side and turn them over. And then you've got some beautiful peas and ricotta fritters, which are something different. I'm sure you'll enjoy them, so just give them a go. And the next time you've got some peas you want to use up, or you want to use up some ricotta, sometimes I buy some ricotta and I need to use it up, and I'll just make these fritters up. There you go, they are lovely. They don't take long to cook, to bind them together. I think the colour looks beautiful. I love that green colour. That green colour looks lovely with that little bit of ricotta through it. I think we've got 5 there, and we could do another 5 there. You do about 10 to 12, which is just lovely for a family. They are beautiful. Just keep on doing the same thing. Just keep on putting them back in again. You can make them as small as you want to or as large as you want to. That is just a nice size. Just keep on adding to it. They don't take long at all because you know, the peas just has to be cooked. So I'm glad. I hope you give them a go because they are really nice. Something different, something to serve with a different flavour or with your vegetables or with your meat. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll try them and enjoy them.